Hey, so I know it's the last Friday in October, and I know I said I was going to dress up for all of October. However, I have misplaced a costume. How do you misplace a costume, you ask? When I get the answer, I'll let you know. So, I was supposed to have this, gender bent, bad girl Bakugo moment. And it's not happening. But we don't let makeup go to waste in this house, so we're still gonna roll. Let's get into it. What's going on, guys? It is your girl Dags, and welcome back to another wrap up. Today we are focusing on the manga that I read in the month of October. October has been quite the roller coaster. We had some hits, we had some misses, we had some why is this even a thing. Even my nose is gone. So I went on a journey to find the scariest manga, the most messed up manga I could find for spooky season, right? Don't do it. I am concerned for some of you people out there. Why? I read some messed up stuff, okay? I'm not going to shy away from that. We're just going to get into it. I'm not even going to go there. We're going to ease on into the month, okay? So before I get started, I do want to say that the next couple of videos are pre-recorded because I'm going on a little vacay with the vacay. So I'll get back to y'all in about a week and some change. So we're going to ease into the month. The first two up I have are Love and Heart Volume 1, as well as, I can never properly grip these things, as well as My Wife Has No Emotion Volume 1. You will see reviews on both of these, so I will not go into them. Just be on the lookout for those videos. Next up, I read Manga Diary of a Male Porn Star. And you know what? This was actually pretty good. Given the subject matter, I thought that this was just going to be some smut. I don't know. Explicit. You know what I'm saying? But this is an actual day in the life, behind the scenes, telling of what goes on in the adult industry by someone who is actually a adult actor. And it was tastefully done. I am definitely going to continue on with this series. It's not for everybody. Obviously there's, explicitness in there, but there's some educational moments that I was not expecting, and I know it sounds weird. It made me think about some things, that I wouldn't think about. I was gonna do a 1-volume review on this, but I figured that would just be too risky with how YouTube is and having to edit a lot of stuff out. So just know that if you are interested in what goes on behind the scenes, I guess, this is actually pretty good. Up next we have The Bane to My Existence, Pleasure and Corruption, Volume 3. I said I was going to finish. I had already bought 1, 2, and 3 together, so if I bought it, I'm gonna read it. I got Volume 4. I have Volume 4 on a pre-order, so it's here. If Volume 4 doesn't sit well in my soul, then I'm probably gonna stop the series. I've been on the fence the entire time I've been reading this. There's some weird consent issues that's going on in here. It just don't feel right, okay? Not to mention, I'm pretty sure these are high school students. Yeah, yeah. No! But now they've roped in another character, and I feel weird all over again. So if 4 doesn't do whatever it is that I want it to do, which I have no idea what I want it to do really, I think I'll be done. I also read volumes 1 through 6 of Limit. This I enjoyed. This is about a group of kids who are going on a school trip, and there is a bus crash and just about everybody dies. So there's a handful of girls that survive, and they're all from different, you know, little social cliques in the school. They never really got along with each other for the most part. And they're having to survive this tragedy, one, and fend for themselves out into the wild, and things get bad. When you're dealing with kids that have no direction, you're seeing people trying to take charge without any actual reasoning for being the one in authority. You're seeing them having to scavenge for food, just all types of things, and you're trying to see if these kids are going to make it home and get rescued, or if they're just going to be doomed out into the wild, or if they're just gonna, you know, die. I wish this were longer, because there are some really good moments in here that I wish were fleshed out a bit, but overall I think I gave it like a 3.5 collectively. I'd say if you like survival type stories, then this is one for you. Next I read Nijigahara Holograph. Yes. I don't know what this was. I was excited to read this only because it was an Asana work, and I gotta tell myself, like, just because you like dude's art doesn't necessarily mean you're gonna like dude's story. Seems like a logical thing to think, you know. I picked this up super blind. I just saw his name was on it. I never heard of it before. I picked it up. It is a hardcover. We like that. The art is phenomenal, as always, as we love to see from him. I don't even know how to explain this. So there's 2 different timelines. You're following, I don't know what you're following. There's different characters, and they all have different timelines, and there's a girl that gets sacrificed to this entity of sorts, but we never actually see said entity. That's one timeline. There's another timeline about a lady with a jacked up face. There's another timeline about bully guy. There's a lot of different characters that you're following, and then on top of that, it bounces back and forth like it time skips, and it's confusing. I'm not even gonna hold you. I have no idea how to explain this because I don't know what I read. Okay, I tried. I sat there and I spent extra time on this one because I wanted to get it, but I don't get it. So I don't know if this is supposed to be like a artsy fartsy moment about love, grief, and horror, or what. Maybe you can figure it out because I couldn't. Let us talk about some digital pics that I read, starting with Hideout. This was a one-shot volume. So Hideout is about a couple who are on the brink of divorce, basically, and they're going on this vacation, but the wife is kind of reluctant to go on said vacation. Husband is determined to go. They get stuck in this rainstorm, and the wife is just going on and on and on and just saying some messed up stuff to this guy. So he pulls the car over because they're out of gas. So then she's really going in on him, and he's like, you know what? Today's the day. Today is the day. So he's like, hey, I think I saw a house over that way. So they go traipsing in the woods, and he tries to kill her because he's fed up. He's over it. And she gets away from him and takes off running, and he's trying to find her, and he comes across this cave, and he goes into the cave and sees her, and is like, oh, you thought you was gonna get away from me? I think not. And then things go left because trying to murder your wife wasn't left enough, and I will leave it at that. This one was good. For it to be so short, this is another one that I wish they would have made a series out of or fleshed it out some more, because overall it's a great story. It's very short. It hits on a lot of things. You see grief, horror, thriller, all of that goodness in there. And I can't say too much without spoiling it. Go pick it up. Up next, I read Starving Anonymous Volumes 1 through 5. There are 7 total, but I did not get done in time, so you'll probably be seeing the last 2 in the next wrap up. This is about a boy who is hanging out with his friend. They're having a grand old time. They get on the bus to go home. Boom. Everyone's gassed out. What do you mean everybody's gassed out? I mean somebody pumped some gas through the truck and they all went to sleep except for the boy. So he's like, what's going on? They pull up to a factory and they're butchering people. This is a meat plant like you would see cows and pigs and chickens in, except for its human bodies. So we are following this boy as he tries to escape from this factory. I wasn't expecting too much from this, but this is actually really, really good. I really like how the main character slowly but surely stops being the main character. Like, that's how fleshed out the side characters are, that I just kind of forget about the main character. He's cool, he's alright, but some of these main characters are phenomenal. I love that we get to see some of the backstories of these characters. You can feel the panic and the fear in the moments as, you know, they're trying to get out of this facility. And while they're trying to get out of the facility, you're seeing different sections of this place, right? So you have like the herd area where they're all just rounded up and in the corner somewhere. You have the butchering station where the bodies are literally just hanging from the ceiling, split in two. You have the breeding grounds where the women are caged up in one area and the men are caged up in another area, and when it's time to breed, it's time to breed. They have the fattening up area where, you know, there are people that are just in this room and they're just eating and eating and eating, and they can't stop. They're fattening these people up so they can be slaughtered, and it's insane, but it's so good. It sounds crazy. If you've ever read, for my book readers out there, if you've ever read Tender is the Flesh, it kind of gives off those vibes from my manga folks. Shout out to Gracefield Farms. At first I thought this was going to be a Promised Neverland moment, but with grown people. Y'all, just go check this one out. This one was really good. Oh, where's my Heavenly Delusion? I forgot to mention Heavenly Delusion Volume 1 that I read. I have no idea where it is, but I didn't like it. It's basically a story about these kids who are in a facility, and what made me think about this was when I said Promised Neverland earlier. They're in this place, they were born there, they grew up there. It's like this safe haven, whatever. They have robots and stuff that kind of take care of the facility and whatnot. So you have that timeline of these kids and them being told by the adults, you can't go beyond the wall. Beyond the wall is terrible. You don't want to know what's out there, yada yada blah blah blah. On the other side, we have these other two characters that are living outside of the wall, and something happened in, I think they're in Tokyo. I'm not entirely, I can't remember. I don't know where I put it. But some event happened. Everything's kind of desolate. It's giving off Walking Dead vibes without the zombies. We see different factions in these people that these two kids are running into, and they're trying to get somewhere. I'm doing a terrible job at this. They're trying to get somewhere, and somehow these two storylines are supposed to come together. I did not enjoy this at all. The story was kind of all over the place for me. I didn't care about these characters. There's one character that the cliffhanger that's left at the end of the manga, I feel like shouldn't have been used as a cliffhanger, because I don't know, it just doesn't make sense to me as to why that would be the ending moment of the manga. I don't plan on picking up volume 2. It was just, as you can see, I didn't remember most of it, so it was pretty forgetful for me, and I really would like to know where I put it though. I gotta get through this. I gotta get through this. Gotta make it through. These eyelashes are so heavy. So another wonderful thing that I read was Brutal Confessions of a Homicide Investigator Volume 1, 2, and 3. I really enjoyed this one. If you like Dexter, the TV show, this is essentially Dexter if Dexter didn't have a moral code. Like, this investigator is essentially hunting down wrongdoers, people that are getting away from the law, people that are mistreating children, stuff like that. However, what differentiates this from Dexter is, you know how Dexter is like, oh, I'm gonna lay you out nicely and I'm gonna kill everybody the same way and it's gonna be clean and it's gonna be quick. No, this guy, first of all, he has a incinerator. I don't know, it's not an incinerator, the thing that the big giant thing with the fire that you use to make your pottery. This is me making pottery, I don't know. He burns the bodies in there, for starters. So once he's got them, he's got them. 2, he murders his victims in the same fashion as their victims. So, for example, I'll use one. It's episodic-ish. So every chapter is a little bit different. So for instance, there's one, ooh, maybe I shouldn't use that one as a bad example. So for instance, there's a guy who is they call it an iTuber, and he will do anything for views. He's realizing that the crazier the story is, the more likely people are going to click on it. So he keeps one-upping himself to the point that it's blurring on the morality line. And then he does some messed up stuff. So the investigator guy is like, oh, you want views? I got your views, cuz. And as he is taking care of him, he records it. You know, stuff like that. So he can watch it on the big screen and see everything that's happening and see if he can get views. There's one where, long story short, this guy is assaulting this woman. So when the investigator gets a hold of him, oh, well, you about to get assaulted too, cuz. It's rough. It's brutal. It's called Brutal. But it's so good. It's so good. To those, again, if you like Dexter, if you like seeing bad people get bad justice, then check this one out. Up next, I read Manhole, the complete series. This is another one. This is for my book readers. If you like The Troop by Nick Cutter, you'll probably like Manhole. So this is about a guy, and you know, everybody's living their life on the busy streets of Tokyo. I don't know where they're at. I always go to Tokyo. But the Manhole cover gets moved to the side. This man comes up butt naked, covered and he drops dead. And you're following these two investigators that are trying to figure out why this man died, what he was doing underground, why he came up out the manhole. And this is another one where things go left. And it's nasty. I think I stomached this one better than The Troop. You'll see my whole rundown on that in the book portion of the wrap-up. But it's along the same lines-ish. It's a little more loose in its explanations. But I liked it, and I think that you will like it too if you like weird nastiness. Let's talk about Jujika no Rokunin. This was my biggest letdown of the month because I feel like it had the most potential. I only read volumes 1 and 2. I'm on the fence, kind of like Pleasure and Corruption, about if I want to continue it. Okay, let me explain what it's about. So this boy is getting bullied by this group of kids to the point that it's just torture, okay? And it goes so far that the ringleader of this little bully gang group, it goes so far that his parents end up getting killed, and his little brother is pretty much on his last limb in the hospital. So this turns into a revenge story. He's gonna get all of them back, and this story is him plotting to pick off these kids one by one. So the boy does have a grandfather that he doesn't really have a relationship with, because his parents are always like, we don't pull granddad, he's a little weird, we leave him alone. So he ends up reaching out to him because he doesn't have a place to stay after his parents die. And we find out that grandpa is a war vet, and he's not wrapped too tightly. He's all for the revenge plot. He's gonna help him with the revenge plot. He's like, yeah, let me show you how to torture, kill people. Grandpa got that life, right? Grandpa's only qualm about the whole thing is see if they've become good people, because some time has passed while this has happened. See if they've become good people, because some people do change. If they are still with an unpure heart, then they gotta go. Cool, bet, whatever. So I don't remember how many kids there are, because we don't really go too deeply into their stories, but one by one he's running into them at school and places, and he's checking them out to see if they need to be offed or not. Sounds like a great story. There are some brutal moments in here, as far as the ones that get revengefully killed. My issue is that there is so much sexual assault in this manga. I'm pretty sure, if not all, at least 95% of the female characters that are introduced are solely introduced for this reason. Like, they don't have a story. Their sole purpose is to be, you know, and I understand that these people are supposed to be deviant, criminal, immoral, what have you. You can still be all of those things and not be a sexual deviant. Like, I don't understand why just about every male character is on one. And it's to the point that I'm questioning if the writer himself has like some kind of fetish or something, because it's like, it's excessive, like mad excessive. Like, okay, so for instance, there's one of the guys, which also doesn't make sense to me, but I try to throw it in the back of my head. One of the guys that he's checking up on is running a prostitution ring. So in that setting, in that element, in that theme, I'm already like, okay, some mess is probably going to go down. Somebody's probably going to get assaulted. That I understand. However, there's another guy. He's at like karate class, judo class, some form of martial arts class, and he's doing it in the locker room. Like, why is this here? What are you adding to the story? Nothing. I read some stuff. I don't get offended easily. I'm not even offended. It's so bad. It's to the point that I'm numb to it, and that's a problem. Like, there's no The first time it happened, I was like, oh my gosh, that's terrible. What the heck? The second time it happened, I was like, oh my gosh, they're still at it. By the 6th time, I was over it. What do you... I could go on a whole tangent about this. I really like the idea of the story. The guy going and hunting down these other people to get revenge for his family, the twisted grandpa that's helping him do it, the different ways that it's getting done. I mean, it's all messed up, but I stopped reading it. I'm probably, just to make sure that I'm right, I'll probably read another volume if I come across it, just to validate my thoughts. And if it goes on into that as well, then I'm out. I can't do it. I don't understand.
Man, you just need to let that go. Just woosah.
Fuck that.
And it makes me so sad because the premise, I hate. Ooh, I hate when a premise is good and it's executed so poorly. Anyway, I'm gonna stop. I'm going on a tangent, but I don't recommend it to anybody. I don't know why it's a thing. I don't know what this man, I'm assuming it's a man, I probably shouldn't make assumptions. I don't know what he's going through in writing this, but yeah, I'm done. So after I read that, I had to get me a palette cleanser and I picked up Pumpkinheads. This is not a manga, this is a comic book, but it is a, I guess you would call it a romantic comedy about these two kids getting ready to go off to college, and they both work at this fall festival pumpkin patch type thing every year together. They've been working together forever and ever. Our boy here has a crush on a girl that works over in the fudge shop. These two are BFFs. So she's like, you've been crushing on this girl for years, yet you've never told her, hey, hi, how you doing? Here's my name. Nothing. I'm sick of hearing about it. We going down to the fudge shop and we're finna introduce you to her and y'all about to get together because this don't make no sense, okay? And the whole story is basically them trying to track down this girl and them experiencing the fall festival for the first and last time because they worked there forever, but they never actually done half of the stuff there because they're always at work. Because this is their last fall together. So it's a story about love. It's a story about friendship. This girl right here is just hilarious to me. He's pretty funny too, but she is just, I want to be her friend in real life. So if you know anybody who acts like her, please send her my way because she's so fun. The art is beautiful. I love these colors. I love their little moments. One of the animals gets loose and they're just randomly chasing people throughout the book. It has nothing to do with the story. You just see it in the background. You're meeting all these different characters. We love a good representation story. We got a plus size, we got black, we got bisexual, we got it all, okay? We love it. It's a great story. Rainbow Rowell, she wrote a book a couple of years back called Fangirl. I absolutely adored it as well. So I highly, if you like something cute and fun and fluffy and something that'll just make you feel warm and fuzzy on the inside and give you all the fall vibes, Pumpkinheads is what you need. Alrighty, and that was all of the manga that I read in the month of October. If you would like to see what I read as far as books, then you'll have to catch me next week. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. What are some of the things that you read? Tell me some of your disappointments, some of your high moments. Let me know. I need some stuff to read. Let me know. Let your girl know. Again, sorry for the non-costume. Maybe Bakugo will show up next year. Maybe it's a sign from God that I had too much My Hero outfits going on this month. I don't know. I will catch you all in the next video, and I hope you all have a pleasant November.